the great one of wrestling, Ali Reza Dabir from Iran.
In the Iran, wrestling is a #1 sport, like a hockey over here. They have takes a lot of respect. It's a very ancient sport. Is 4,000 or 5,000 years old. That's why he got involved with the wrestling. And over there, wrestling takes lots of respect. People respect a lot to wrestlers.
He is considered by many pound for pound to be the best in the world. Ali Reza Dabir of Iran in this 66-kilogram final against Ruslan Bodisteanu of Moldova.
Well, and Ali Reza Dabir is a beautiful wrestler to watch. He's got great technique. He's quick. He's very, very smart. And he hasn't had a close match this tournament yet.
He's also just 24 years old, the gold medalist from the 2000 Olympics in Sydney at the 58-kilogram level, so he's gone up 8 kilos since then.
Here again, we see the wrestlers jostling for position. What they're trying to do is set up their opponent for an attack, either a leg attack or an upper body attack. Most of the time, it'll be a leg attack in freestyle wrestling.
Bodisteanu of Moldova, at 25 years of age, a year older than Dabir.
There we see a beautiful leg attack by Dabir, a double leg takedown. He got in between the hands of Bodisteanu. Here he's going to try for a gut wrench. He loads him up one way, slides his leg under, gets him there. Beautiful technique. He does that so nicely.
1 point for the takedown, 2 for the turn. And Dabir leads 3-0 here. Just over a minute gone in period #1.
And again, because they went out of bounds in that control position, they come back in the center and start that way again. Dabir can do another gut wrench here. Again, he's going to try that same position. Exactly the same move again. He had Bodisteanu thinking he was going to Bodisteanu's left side, switches back to the right side. Excellent technique, very effective.
You can see the frustration mounting on Bodisteanu's face. He is in tough here against Dabir.
Now, after you do that move, you have to do a different move. You can't do 2 gut wrenches in a row unless you go out of bounds or unless you score in another way on the ground. And again, there's no action. The referee stopped the match and start them back on their feet.
Bodisteanu, for his part, was 10th at the Olympic Games in 2000. Very experienced internationally.
He's very experienced, but he also knows how good Dabir is, right? And it's very demoralizing coming back on your feet, being down 5-0 against the Olympic champion.
Bodisteanu is a law student, but it's Dabir who is laying down the law here in Edmonton. 5-0 period #1, 45 seconds to go.
Well, wrestling's always been called a physical chess match, and we see it now, but we also saw it on the ground there where Dabir was turning Bodisteanu. You want your opponent to think you're doing one thing when you're actually trying to do another thing.
Dabir mentioned moments ago that wrestling is like a religion in his country of Iran, and to that point, Dabir has his own website. He updates it himself. A couple of shots here.
Well, quite often at the end of the period, we don't see a lot of action. Both wrestlers know how much time's left in the match. They know that if they try to score now, there's a good chance they'll run out of time, so they conserve their energy and wait till the second period.
There are 2 3-minute periods separated by a 30-second intermission. Dabir a commanding 5-0 lead after 1.
Well, and here we see that gut wrench again. He gets that leg swept across to be able to pop him over. Very tough for Bodisteanu to stop that move when his right leg isn't out to stop that.
Start of period #2. What do you do if you're Bodisteanu?
Well, at this point in the match, you want to try to score a few points. You know, I mean, he knows. Oh, here we see it. Beautiful shot again. Nice setup. He snapped Bodisteanu's head down. Got him to put that weight on that right leg. Got in nice and deep, although Bodisteanu is countering very effectively here. He wants to get his legs back. He wants to stretch Dabir out a bit, pull him forward so that he can get around behind him for the point. What Dabir wants to do is he wants to get out of that position. He's not comfortable here. It's tough to score from underneath there. He'd like to get out to the neutral position and start over.
And that is what he does beautifully.
But as you were asking earlier, what does Bodisteanu want to do? He wants to score a point, right? I mean, he doesn't want to be shut out in this match. He knows he's probably not going to win this match because of his experience with Dabir. He wants to try to salvage something on this match, set up a nice takedown, put some nice setups together, and get something positive out of the match.
We saw Dabir clip Bodisteanu's nose, and he went over and gave him a tap and a hand slap, a true sportsman.
Your head position is so important in wrestling because you can neutralize your opponent by getting your head in the right position. You can also use your head as a setup. You can use your head in takedowns, and that's one of the things that Dabir is very effective at. You see, he's got his head nice and low. He plants it in on Bodisteanu's shoulder. He's neutralizing his attack right here. He's lower than Bodisteanu. Bodisteanu can't score when he's lower than him.
Now, as if Dabir needs further motivation, there is a fairly large and vocal Iranian contingent here in Edmonton cheering on their hero, who leads 5-0 now with 1:15 left in period 2.
One of the things I like about Dabir is he's very efficient. He doesn't waste a lot of energy, doesn't waste a lot of movement. He's very deliberate in his actions. Very dangerous from the outside here.
Now, Dabir's strategy is stay in the middle, obviously, look busy.
Well, he wants to keep the pressure on, and again, we see here a beautiful takedown. He gets it nice and deep, pops the elbow in, scores a point out of bounds. Such a solid wrestler. He got in nice and deep on that shot. His arms were in tight, his hips were in. Beautiful technique. Here we see it one more time. Gets in there nice and tight on the legs. Perfect technique.
Dabir goes on to win this match and afterwards reflected on his preparation.
Actually, this tournament he came, his body performance is almost 60%. He wasn't training that much just because all the training he was doing before, and then he just after that he's going to start training for a world championship.
A look once again at your champion at 66 kilograms, Ali Reza Dabir of Iran, considered by many pound for pound